baby's home. Cairo, Cairo is my baby's home. One bad Cairo night won't be long. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Catch you around and take you off your feet. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. They get through the graveyard, then for you. Cairo, babe. Cairo, Cairo, babe. Women in Cairo send you down to your grave.
Hello everybody and welcome to another live stream, Blue Monday with Homesick Mac. I'm happy to see you guys and we have a great topic for today. First of all, the first commenter, G. Albert, please explain. What do you mean by, are you off camera with your slide guitar? Just couldn't see you. Yes, off camera. Great. So, welcome G. Albert. Happy times, Patrick. Patrick, thank you so much. This first section right now is something that you've helped me with to even out the volumes and everything. So this was, my voice should now be basically the same volume as the introductory Statesboro Blues was. And this is something I've been experimenting with, and so that you guys don't have to raise or lower the volume when I'm playing songs from Apple Music or from my hard drive or whatever. It's a bit tricky process, but I think I nailed it now. My Norwegian attack. Hello, Geir. Nice to see you again. All right. So, what do we do today? What are we doing? We're going to be lead into the whole thing with a song by Little Walter Jr. That's going to be my welcome song for you guys. It's called Blues with a Feeling, and there is a reason why I'm playing this song as an intro and a welcome song, because later on when we are talking about the topic for today, it's going to be about gentleness of the touch on the guitar. When to play harder, when to play softer, what depends on different factors like string gauge, the height of string action, right? The tuning, a type of guitar or kind of a guitar you're playing, and definitely on the song that's been played. So that's the topics for today. And we're going to have the lick of the week, of course. That's going to be in open G, just to announce it. And that's it. So the welcome song is going to be Blues with a Feeling. Blue with a feeling, that's what I have to do. Blue with a feeling, that's what I have to do. I'm gonna find my baby if it takes all night and day. What a lonesome feeling when you're by yourself. What a lonesome feeling when you're by yourself. When the one that you love now you go with someone else. I know I love you, baby. I wonder the reason why you gonna love me, baby, and you love me here to cry. Blue with a feeling, well, that's what I have to do. I'm gonna find my baby, well, if it takes all night and day. Right. Little Walter Jr., Walter Jacobs, recorded this song in the 50s. Accompanying him on the guitar, because Little Walter played harmonica and sang, accompanying him was Jimmy Rogers, one of the most influential guitar players of the Chicago blues era, who, together with Muddy Waters, created this kind of shuffly Chicago punchy blues style, where the dynamics were basically everything when it comes to arranging the song and doing it. I will analyze this particular song and the grooves that I've played here, but I will definitely go into also this lick, which is kind of one of the signature licks by Jimmy Rogers. And maybe even if I don't play exactly note for note, the thing of how he syncopates and where he puts these things that he's playing is very much affecting the arrangement, the dynamics of the song, when and where it's played, and all that. So it's going to be a blast when we get into that. But right now, as we usually do, I'll do the blues backup for you guys. And we'll start off, as we usually do, in standard tuning E. I'll play similar blues pattern as I did here in the welcome song, but it's going to be a bit slower. And we're going to play it in E. All right. Well done, if I may say so. Good. Let me change the guitar, and I'll give you the next backup in. Let's see. No, it's gonna be, maybe you don't have the D open tuning. Well, let's do it anyway. Maybe you have it. Like most of the blues, lots of stuff done here is kind of improvised. Oh, okay, G. Albert, I get it. The thumbnail for today's live stream. Yeah, that's right. Actually, the reason I have that image on the thumbnail and why I chose Muddy Waters, Buddy Guy, and Willie Dixon was because it's one of the pictures that came with the LP record called Folk Singer by Muddy Waters. It was recorded for Chess Records, and that's one of the most sophisticated acoustic blues records ever when it comes to the way it's recorded, how it's executed, where they were placed when they were playing. So everything will come to life when I start talking about today's topics. But until we get there, we're going to do a backup in open D. Let me just do it this way. 2, 3, 4. So this is what happens when it's live. I was planning to play a slow blues backup in open D, but then I thought, well, wait, I just play that in just standard tuning. Of course, it's one step lower in the pitch, it's another key, and it's another tuning, but still it would be the same. So what I did, I just remembered, oh, Cairo, that's right, how it started. So instead of playing Cairo in the standard tuning, or the type of blues as Cairo blues, I just kind of improvised what I would do in open D with that. And that also led me into the today's topic, how soft, how hard you play certain things within the backup. But we'll start with another thing. So now, I don't know how many of you have got the capo at hand, and maybe you're not even used to use a capo or whatever, so we'll keep the same thing within standard tuning and just E. Although I played Blues with a Feeling with capo on 2nd fret, which would make it F sharp. And the reason for that was that this suits my voice when I play live. It's a good balance between the high-pitched notes and the deeper notes. And since I have a kind of light baritone as my frequency range and the tonal range in my voice, that's where this song suits best. I think that Little Walter played it in A, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, I played it in F sharp with the capo on the 2nd fret. And one of the reasons I do that is also that when you really need to take in, when you need to sing this blue with a feeling, that's what I have today, that's an emotion that I want to kind of pass over. And the whole song is about, you know, I'm going to find my baby if it takes all night and day. So he is looking after his baby, and he's, you know, in the search. So it can't be like a blue with a feeling. It's not an emotional song. This is kind of a I'm on the quest. I want to find her because she left with somebody else. So there's a little bit of not anger, but kind of urge to find her and get her back. That needs to be reflected in the singing, and the guitar backup is something that's coming underneath and that's coming to support that singing line. All right, I see some chat talking in between you guys while I'm doing my stuff. That's great. Patrick is much too kind. He calls me Sensei sometimes. Yeah, that's great. Good. So, the gentle or a tougher touch. So, what of course, there is a difference in the dynamics of playing when you pick hard and when you play kind of softly. But when you play gently, that's something that needs to come from within, and that needs to emphasize what the song is about, what the backup is about, and what your singing emotion is about. I've seen quite many players play equally strong on the guitar. They're singing about something, they're doing their singing phrase, and they play equally hard on the guitar as they're singing. Just give me a second. All right. So if I would just go into this first verse and the first phrase when it comes after the song starts, so it's kind of turned intro. Blue with a feeling, That's what I have today. Blue with a feeling. That's what I have today. So if you noticed, and if there's not too much compression in YouTube sending this to you guys and going into your headphones or your loudspeakers, I played softer when I was singing and just doing the backup, and then in between the vocal phrases I kind of picked a little bit harder, but I still have headroom. So let's say the phrases in between the vocal lines, best if you can see this, of course. I apologize. So this is something that's not visible when I'm playing. Let's say this Dutch, or this Dutch, or this Dutch. It sounds, of course, different in volume, but when you're watching my fingers, it's not so much of a difference in between how soft or hard you pick. So, and that's something that we'll have to work around and work with, so that I maybe just demonstrate and then do it. So, in the first verse, blues with a feeling, that's what I have today. So this in between would be this in the backup. Blue with a feeling, that's what I have today. And so on. So the first level of dynamics in the playing is that the vocal lines shouldn't be covered by the guitar playing. This is very easy to accomplish when you're a solo performer and when you play acoustically. Even if you plug in with your pickup on the guitar, you can still tailor that and just kind of adjust the volume on the channel that's giving the guitar sound out. But it's much more difficult to do this when you're in a band setting. That's something that needs to be negotiated, because when people play live, there's a notch of madness that happens there, even with very seasoned players, and sometimes they just have their own sound and the volume on the amplifier, and that's it, take it or leave it. The greatest masters, like Muddy Waters or like Louisiana Red, who I played with many times, and I've seen that Louisiana Red always wanted his amplifier to be way back, or if there was a great sound engineer, if it was a good miking system and the monitoring, then he would agree on having the amplifier right behind him, a little bit to the left side, and then that sound would be taken with a microphone in front of the loudspeaker, taken to the system, and then it would be put back in the monitors, and then the drummer and all the rest of us in the band would maybe we could sometimes choose how much of Louisiana we want in our monitors, or if we just want to hear ourselves, or maybe just his voice, not the guitar, because he used to play with amplifiers with an open back, which means you did hear quite a lot in the back as well. Sometimes this is also affected by how close the audience is. When you play festivals, there's always like 3-4 meters of the stage until you come to the edge of the stage, and then there's this kind of place in between, and then there's a fence or something, and then the audience is standing. That's usually in the big on big festivals how it was done. But when we played in clubs, especially smaller clubs, he always wanted to have his amplifier way in the back, so that he didn't need to so we could hear what he was playing, he could hear us as well, and then he could hear exactly how much his sound is compared to the rest of the sound that's coming out from the little stage. And that's where he adapted his dynamics very much. If you remember when we played Gasline Blues from Apple Music, I think it was last week's stream. You go back to that and you see how smoothly he played the gas line blues, although he was singing a very high-pitched vocal line. Still, the guitar, and that was recorded with like 2 microphones, and the guitar was leaking into the vocal mic, and the vocals were leaking into the guitar mic. There were 2 large condenser studio microphones in front of him. So all conditions were there, that everything was recorded at the same time, and the volume was determined by how he was picking the guitar. Nothing was mixed afterwards or added in any way. It was just straight into the mixing console. So he played Gasline Blues with a higher pitch. I think it was F sharp or something. Take it now, people, you ain't heard the latest news. Country's in a bad situation. You got the gas line blues. You got the gas line blues. You got the gas line blues. So I've tried to imitate how he did it, so he could really take a very strong note on the vocals and still maintain a very light touch on the guitar. So that's the first thing that I want to emphasize. That's very important. Even if you're just playing with a flat pick and brushing those chords on a dreadnought guitar and all that, I've seen it so many times that dynamics get kind of destroyed by too punchy playing while at the same time singing the melody that you're trying to tell a story, tell the lyrics that are about something nice, and I don't know. Okay, the next one is the touch on the pick and hand can also affect how a certain tuning sound. And if I would, I'll change it to my open D guitar. I'll change it to my open D guitar. This is going to be interesting. So now we're open D, right? And I have a guitar that's fairly new when it comes to comparing this guitar with the originals from the 20s and 30s. Just a short background. This tricone guitar, if I just back off a little bit, right? You see the whole of it. This is made as a guitar that was supposed to be used in large orchestras so that the guitarists could be heard when they played together with the banjos in Dixieland bands, in Hawaiian bands. And this is a model that originally came in 1927 by National, and it's a tricone because it has three cones here underneath this cover plate. So there is one cone down here, one here on the side, and one on this side. And there are 3 aluminum, I think it's aluminum legs, kind of resting on each of these resonators. And the resonators can be imagined as small plates just turned upside down and resting on a special frame that's here within. Just Google National Style 1 tricone, and you will find lots of information and diagrams of how they were built and all that. So the reason for these 3 cones compared to the Resophonic guitars that had 1 cone that were called Patrick Dunmar guitars. I know Patrick has a single cone guitar, also by Continental from Germany, and they have a bit punchier, more bassy sound, but they don't have these kind of higher frequency trebles as the tricones have. So tricones have this quite well balanced and very suitable for my style of playing, where the basses are smooth but not too deep, and the trebles are nice, punchy, but not squeaky. They're not squeaky on the single cone guitars either, but they're just a bit kind of milder than the trebles on a tricone. The middles are also a bit kind of mellower than on the single cone guitar. So even that slight difference in frequencies can sometimes determine how you're going to pick. I would definitely play a single cone resophonic guitars different than I play my tricone. And also, this guitar was actually meant to be used live with the magnetic pickup. And I've shown you in a couple of live streams back how it sounds amplified. And that's something that I can really, really use when I play live. But basically, it's the same as when I play now at home in the studio. And this is the whole frequency range. If you listen carefully to this now. So I can still hear that bass. Still, if I also play the... It's got a nice projection, everything is there. So basically this, with a very light touch, is the normal volume of this guitar. When I play it, that's it. But when musicians play live, even if they're amplified, even if they have pickups on, usually the emotions make you excited and you pick a bit harder. So what happens then, that it sounds like this. That's it. So what if I decide to play a solo on top of this? Demonstrate it. Let's say we finish the verse. See, that bass got distorted, and if I pick it harder, it's gonna vibrate more than if I play it like this. As soon as I pick the bass harder, listen to this. You get this bow, bow, bow. It raises the pitch a little bit because the string is vibrating vertically. And that happens with the basses. It doesn't happen to the treble strings because the tension is stronger there. But what I'm risking with playing the treble strings harder than I should is that they will start rattling. If I play a slide, they will definitely rattle on the slide, which I'll be demonstrating very soon. That's one of my next points here. So I always try to, when I play live, before each song, before I start playing, even before I start telling maybe people what the next song is going to be about, I tell myself from here in the back, take it easy, pick smoothly, which means that I will relax my right hand. I usually kind of shake off my hand like this before I start playing a song, maybe behind the backs, otherwise it might be looking strange to somebody. And that's where I usually start to play very softly. So if I would play Rambling on My Mind, or would it suit you? I got rambling. No, it's going to be too high in the pitch. No, we'll just take Jesus on the Main Line. If I would start to play that song, the intro would be like this. I even caught myself now that I pick harder than I should because I'm excited, because it's a live stream, because it's a live thing, and I need to calm down. So this should be the right volume in order to preserve some headroom for the solo and maybe more emotional parts of the song. So actually this should be the volume. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. You better call him up and tell him what you want. If you want your soul converted, tell him what you want, and so on. So I'm not going to play all the whole songs, although I could easily play this all the time. So I kind of demonstrated the volume of the backup and the intro of the song, then I sang a verse, and then I went into playing a instrumental phrase, which was, if you would put this into your, let's say, recording software, you wouldn't maybe hear a significant increase of the volume when it comes to decibels or something, but it would definitely peak a little bit more than the backup part. So that's one of the first things. I usually advise students to play so soft that they think it's too soft, that nobody's going to hear it. There's a trap here if you're playing with a pickup, because if you raise the volume on the pickup, on the amplifier, in the PA system and everything, and you play softly, still you will be loud. This kind of means that you need to work on your, we need to work on our kind of initial volume, the basic volume, the basic kind of decibel amount for a song, for a lick, for the emotion we want to tell about. And of course, I'll go back to my standard tuned guitar and I'll show you that. But the reason I put up this guitar from the beginning was to show one thing that I've learned from Bob Rosman, an amazing slide guitar player, overall he was fantastic playing any musical style. But I remember talking to him at a festival backstage, and he was telling me like, oh man, I need to remember to tune the guitar, the bass just a little bit lower. This guitar is a tricky one. Why? Because he played acoustically. Only the last maybe couple of years of his career, Bob Rosman passed away. He's not with us anymore, sadly. But in the last couple of years of his career, he used pickups. He used a Highlander coaxial pickup underneath the saddle on his guitar, and then he combined that with a microphone in front of the guitar. But in mid-90s, and I think this was like 94, we were in Czech Republic and playing a great dobro festival called something, I forgot the name, but anyway. So we're talking backstage, and he said, I got this crazy, fantastic national with me, but intonation is not so good. And that was a common problem with old guitars, that either the necks got bowed too much, or they were too straight, or something happened. Sometimes the angle of these, because if you play a single cone guitar, then your saddle where the strings are resting can be angled a little bit, and it should always be angled a little bit towards, let's say the bass side should be more further back and the treble should go a little bit forward. We're talking millimeters here. But on these old guitars, even if you have the saddle in the right position, still you would get wrong intonation. So this guitar is something in between. I will show you how you get the intonation on the bass. Let's say this is a D, and then we have the D on the bass string. It's a bit higher in the pitch. Somewhere there. But if I play the bass string only, you see, it's a little bit flat. It's not really there. Of course, we need to have good ear for this, and we need to be aware of the physics of the string, because when you pick, let's say, the 5th fret of that bass string, let's say. See, this is low here as well. It's flat. So I would first, now we're talking old times, old days, when we didn't have tuning machines, you know, neither those with the let's say that you clip on your guitar or those that you put your cable in. Now we're talking late 80s, beginning 90s and all that. So this is how I learned to tune. So somewhere there. It's a bit maybe sharp, but let's say for my ears, this is okay. But now when I played it, you see, when I pick the harmonics on the 12th fret, that's basically there somewhere. But then when I play the note on the 12th fret, it's a bit sharper. Not too much, because this is a modern guitar. This was made in 1992. And I cannot show you under this cover plate, but I have mechanically compensated the saddle so that I can move the bass string a little bit further back. So I don't have a guitar that's kind of that age that Bob Rosman used to play, but he started tuning his guitar almost a quarter of the tone lower on the bass. So if we only play the bass like this, so this is flat, right? It's not much, but very little. So if I play the chord like this, I hear this note is flat. But what Bob Rosman did, and that's when he used the problem to his advantage, was that, okay, but if I play that note on the 5th fret on the badly intonated guitar, that note on the 5th fret would be okay. So with anticipation of, okay, I need a really good pitch on the 5th fret, but then I will just pick the open string harder because it will have more movement of the vibration of the string, which will give it a little bit higher pitch. So if I pick it very slowly, very smoothly, it's going to be like this. Flat. But if I pick hard, and what Bob Rosman did was he played a very short notes, but very he picked it very hard. And then when he came to playing on the, maybe to change to another chord, the chord 4, then he would play smoothly. So that's also something where these things come into play and can be very important. I have another low tuned guitar, my baritone. And for the occasion, I've tuned it down to B. Usually I have it in C open, which is not the C open tuning, but it's a D open lowered down to the key of C. But now I have it in B. So you don't want to see this gymnastics here that I'm doing, just to be able to show you, but basically that's it. So the B would be this. Let's see the harmonics. This is audible. You hear it, it's a bit higher. And the reason for this is that I keep the action on the basses quite high because I know I'm going to be picking this guitar quite hard when it comes to basses. I will play very smoothly on the treble side, and with my, let's say, when I play slide, these notes are picked very smoothly because so I play quite softly with my right hand Otherwise, I would get this kind of buzzing. See, you don't see these higher frets, but we will improvise with the camera as well. Wow, we're there, good. So, you see, I'm getting this buzzing from the string because I picked them quite hard. But if I don't do it, if I play it very smoothly, that's going to be this. And I like this punch when I just hit this string quite hard, and still I get the nice pitch. It's in tune, and it gives you this nice smooth sound even if you pick it harder. But the reason for that is this is a 0.70 on a big bass. Usually this string is 0.54, maybe 56 when you have a medium set. This is a baritone set, and this is a 70 on the big bass, which means there's a tension in this string even if it's tuned low, and it's not the amplitude of these string movements are not that big as on the regular guitar. If I just play, let's say, open D, but that's where you're actually using an E string for the standard tuning, which then goes down the whole step. It means it's going to be floppier, and we need to be careful how we play it. Good one. So, back with the camera. This is something I just didn't dare to do in the beginnings of the live streams, but it obviously works okay. How are you guys doing? Let me see if there are no comments. Good. So we're listening, we're having fun. That's perfect. Good. Today's theme. We're done with today's theme. Basically, not so much, but there's this rule: don't play too hard, and start playing very smoothly, because you will then have good headroom for playing a solo, playing those licks in between. And yeah, I did forget something, so I have to do that. And we'll go to just the key of E in standard tuning. Right, so these fill-in licks that Jimmy Rogers played in Blues with a Feeling. Him and Muddy Waters made a revolution in my ears and eyes when it comes to thinking of Chicago blues and how the guitar parts were played. Because usually when the verse is sung, where the verse line is sung, that's when it's quite quiet and not too much is happening with the backup, unless or I mean apart from the chord pattern, right? But as soon as the vocal line has finished and there are a couple of seconds in between, that's where the magic starts. And Muddy Waters and Jimmy Rogers made a kind of this biting each other with the licks, playing at the same time, sometimes even playing same notes, but one would approach the note from above and the other one would play from beneath, and they would kind of meet somewhere in the middle, like when you play, let's say, the turnaround. One of them would maybe play this, and the other one would go, right? Oh. Like two melodies coming into one. That's one of the ways to do it. Then sometimes somebody would do while the other one would do. Hey G. Albert, I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so the lick that I've learned from Jimmy Rogers And there are many guitar players who emulate this lick very nicely. Some players play with their own touch to it, and what I usually do is I apply this. So, blue with a feeling, that's what I have today. Blue with a feeling, that's what I have today. So I pick this harder, and now I'm gonna find my baby, if it takes all night and day. So that's where these very special Jimmy Rogers kind of licks are fitting into this. And they are usually played with a bit more volume, a bit more punch, until you come to the next singing line. So that was it. So who do we have left here? We have Patrick, we have Geir. That's great. So let me finally do this lick of the week that I've been promising for kind of 2 weeks, but then everything else took so much time. But now, look, I got 3 minutes to 10, which is perfect. So I have... So we're not going to do this, not this. We're going to come to the lick of the week. That's right. And I mentioned that it's going to be in open G. And there's this song, Statesboro Blues by Blind Willie McTell, of course, that I play so often. And I just love doing that song. And it's a never-ending source of inspiration for different licks to play, and you can play the song the same way when it comes to backup, and being very considerate about how softly or hard you play. You pick with your pick in hand, but those licks in between can be played different each time. I do have a kind of my favorite way of how to play solo in that song, but those things in between can be basically anything that comes to mind while I'm playing. So a couple of weeks ago, while I was in Berlin, I couldn't do the live stream, but I thought, okay, I'll give you guys something at least. So I posted a little video on Facebook only, but that never got to YouTube. And on Facebook, I showed this lick that I play in between two vocal lines. And actually, these are two licks that can be practiced separately and then put together. So if I would demonstrate the first lick, it would be this. So we're in open G. The melody is on the 12th, 13th, 14th fret on the first string. So I glide from the 14th to 12th fret on the first string. And then the second string is played on the 12th. So it's like I glide to almost the 10th fret and then glide to the note on the third string on the 12th fret again. So it's a... And then after this, there is this chord played, the chord shape of G. So... a bit more advanced, a bit punchier. So what I did here, I added the bass and the chord. So let's do this together, but slowly. So it's bass together with this note, and then the chord again. So it's... That's the basics, together with the picking. And why it's so punchy is because I kind of glide very fast from the 14th to the 12th. It's almost like a... You're slapping it. So... and then. And the reason for that is basically I want to just make it on time to play that chord. Because if I wanted to do it like on the beat, you will find courses where they advise you to play like this to start with and then apply dynamics later on and variations to the song. I don't know. I've always tried to incorporate the dynamic and the little tricky lick thing, syncopation, in the practicing. I did it myself, and I advise people to do that as well. So, in my humble opinion, that's a good way. So, the way to practice efficiently, then you need to play it slowlier, but try to maintain this syncopation like a. If you need to think about something to kind of have an encore in the lick, which I usually do, I always think the first note, chow, bow, chow, chow. Those are my kind of punchlines in this lick. And the rest is kind of lurked, like a relaxed kind of backup. And then the next lick is on the 5th fret on the 1st string. So, this can be done in different ways, like that I pick the first note and then the 3rd open string. Or if I just release a slide, just raise it from the strings after that 2nd note. And that would maybe give me some more time to do this more expressively, this. Because then I have the time to put the slide on the 2nd fret of the 3rd and the 5th string and glide between the 2nd and 3rd fret and then back. See? And then I have the chord. So, or these two together will be like a. And I would put this in, let's say, wake up mama, turn your lamp down low. Wake up mama, turn your lamp down low. Have you got the nerve to drive the popo from the door? And so on. So these kind of licks can really fit into those small places in between vocal lines, and you can experiment with these. You can play them differently. Instead of maybe doing this, or you can do like this is even easier than the first one, or like a. And so on. Good, guys, thank you so much for staying with me this late, and it's been a blast as usual. I really love doing these live streams. I think I just go on with this as long as it's fun for me and for you. I really hope it's fun for you. Good, so we're done for today. Welcome next week on October the 3rd, and the theme for that, the live stream, is already set. It's going to be about how to prepare the practicing, how to, let's say, be efficient in planning how to practice, when to play, what to play, how to play it, and even if I'm not a performer musician and play like 3 times a week as I used to before, I still need to prepare things. I need projects to prepare, recording sessions and all that. So I'll be showing you how I do it, and that will be my kind of humble tip about how to be efficient and play and get better results while you're practicing and doing all that. All right. Thanks for stopping by, guys. And I'm clicking with my mouse, bringing the comments on the screen. Thank you, Patrick. I hope the levels were good. And let's see if the outro song has got the better kind of same volume as my talking voice right now. So we'll do that right now. I'm sitting on top of the world from the LP Too Long From Home with me and Sam Mitchell. Nope, with Sam Mitchell and me. Sitting on top of the world. Have a great one, guys. I'll see you next Monday.
It was in spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, Lord, she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Things could call me up, down and out by soul. Said, come back, Daddy, Lord, I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, let my peaches be. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Was in spring, one sunny day.